Continuing on from our previous video, first we will deal quickly with the practice of fasting in the community. So just going back to Didache chapter 8 and verse 1, we read, "But as for your fasts, let them not be with the hypocrites, for they fast on the second and the fifth days of the week. But do ye fast on the fourth and the sixth days?" Now, in Hebrew culture and religion, fasting was never just a dietary practice. It carried deep spiritual, social, and covenantal meaning. Now, the reasons for fasting shifted over time, but we can trace the main themes from the Torah, the prophets, and later Jewish practice. So, for this reason, there will be another video next Tuesday to address this very issue. Okay, so we will now move on to note how the apostles understood the Thanksgiving meal, the Eucharist, the Lord's evening meal. Didache chapter 9 and verses 1 through to 5. Verse 1. "But concerning the Eucharist, after this fashion give ye thanks." Verse 2. "First, concerning the cup, we thank thee, our Father, for the holy vine, David thy son, which thou hast made known unto us through Jesus Christ thy Son. To thee be the glory forever." Verse 3. "And concerning the broken bread, we thank thee, our Father, for the life and the knowledge which thou hast made known unto us through Jesus thy Son. To thee be the glory forever." And verse 4. "As this broken bread was once scattered on the mountains, and after it had been brought together became one, so may thy church be gathered together from the ends of the earth unto thy kingdom. For thine is the glory and the power through Jesus Christ forever." And then verse 5. "Let none eat or drink of your Eucharist but such as have been baptized into the name of the Lord. For of a truth the Lord hath said concerning this, Give not that which is holy unto dogs." You see, this meal was about covenant relationship, the cup and the bread prayers, the kingdom hope, the unity like scattered grain being gathered. Now, what is notable, however, there's no mention of any sacrifice of Jesus' blood and flesh as being for the forgiveness of sins. Now, in the next video on fasting, this matter will be covered. See, and our gospel references, Matthew 26:26 to 29, Mark 14:22 to 25, Luke 22:19 to 20, and John 6:51 to 58. So, some teaching points to absorb. First of all, notice the simplicity of it. Thanksgiving more than a ritual procession. Then two, scatological focus, looking into the time of the end. Jesus is, until I drink anew in the kingdom, looking to the end. Now we move on to the itinerant apostles, prophets, and local leadership. Here we begin to note some very specific directions as to how the congregations will be able to identify those traveling apostles, prophets, and teachers, coming to them as either true or as false. Chapter 11, verse 1. "Whosoever therefore shall come and teach you all these things aforesaid, him do ye receive." Verse 2. "But if the teacher himself turn and teach another doctrine with a view to subvert you, hearken not to him. But if he come to add to your righteousness and the knowledge of the Lord, receive him as the Lord. So these two verses really provide the general principles in helping to determine the true from the false teachers. All right, now for some helpful details to apply. Verse 3. But concerning the apostles and prophets, thus do ye according to the doctrine of the gospel. Verse 4. Let every apostle who cometh unto you be received as the Lord. Verse 5. He will remain one day, and if it be necessary, a second. But if he remain 3 days, he is a false prophet. Note in particular verse 5. See, this is a very specific instruction. And I have searched the Gospels for any such instruction from Jesus to his disciples, but I could not identify any occasion. However, in the Gospel of John, the writer specifically notes that Jesus stayed just 2 days with the Samaritan villagers, John chapter 4 and verse 40. Now this led me to research this matter a lot more closely, so I'm preparing a video to present the fruits of this research shortly. And I can tell you, very interesting it is. So it's just a little heads up. Okay, let's move on. Chapter 11 and verse 6. Let the apostle, when departing, take nothing but bread until he arrives at his resting place. But if he asks for money, he is a false prophet. Money. The apostles got the point, didn't they? What do we have with religions today? They really are business models, are they not? We need to be very careful. Jesus stated the principle. You received free, give free. Matthew 10 and verse 8. Gospel reference. Matthew 24:42 to 44, Mark 13:33 to 37, Luke 12:35 to 40, and Matthew 25 verse 1. Right. Now, a stern warning in verse 7. And ye shall not tempt or dispute with any prophet who speaketh in the Spirit, for every sin shall be forgiven, but this sin shall not be forgiven. And notice how the guardrails put in place in verses 8 through to 10. Verse 8. But not everyone who speaketh in the Spirit is a prophet, but he is so who hath the disposition of the Lord. By their dispositions they therefore shall be known, the false prophet and the prophet. Verse 9. And every prophet who ordereth in the Spirit that a table shall be laid, shall not eat of it himself. But if he do otherwise, he is a false prophet. Verse 10. And every prophet who teacheth the truth, if he do not what he teacheth, is a false prophet. However, there are circumstances we don't make a judgment to act upon. Verse 11. And every prophet who is approved and true, and ministering in the visible ministry of the church, but who teacheth not others to do the things that he doth himself, shall not be judged of you. For with God lieth his judgment. For in this manner also did the ancient prophets. Verse 12. But whoever shall say in the Spirit, give me money, or things of that kind, listen not to him. But if he tell you concerning others that are in need, that he should give unto them, let no one judge him. See, the directions in chapter 12 continue to give practical advice in determining who are in need and worthy of help. And this is determined by how they were prepared to work in order to receive help after the predetermined 2 or 3 days. Now, this would help reveal the genuine from the Christ traffickers. In chapter 13, there is likewise those who are prophets and teachers. They should be helped according to the first fruit principle found in Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 9, where we read, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your crops." Chapter 14, just 3 verses. Verse 2, "But let not anyone who hath a quarrel with his companion join with you until they be reconciled, that your sacrifice may not be polluted." See how important it is being a peaceable person. And our gospel references, Matthew 5 verses 23 and 24. On to chapter 15, again, just 4 verses. "Elect therefore for yourselves bishops and deacons worthy of the Lord, men who are meek and not covetous, true and approved, for they perform for you the service of the prophets and the teachers." Good direction on how these ones are to be elected and then treated. And our teaching points from this? Well, first, guard the community, but without holding back with genuine gifts. And 2, receive true servants generously, but refuse exploitation. And thirdly, the early structure or administration grows from obedience to Jesus, not from control. Then, finally, on personal examination, keep lamps lit, endure the final deception, the Lord's coming. Chapter 16, verse 1. "Watch concerning your life. Let not your lamps be quenched, or your loins be loosed, but be ye ready. For ye know not the hour at which our Lord cometh." In verse 2, "Be ye gathered together frequently, seeking what is suitable for your souls. For the whole time of your faith shall profit you not, unless ye be found perfect in the last time." And our gospel references, Luke chapter 12, verses 35 to 40, Matthew 25, verse 1. "Then keep on the watch." Verse 3, "For in the last days false prophets and seducers shall be multiplied, and the sheep shall be turned into wolves, and love shall be turned into hate." Verse 4, "And because iniquity aboundeth, they shall hate each other, and persecute each other, and deliver each other up. And then shall the deceiver of the world appear as the Son of God, and shall do signs and wonders, and the earth shall be delivered into his hands. And he shall do unlawful things, such as have never happened since the beginning of the world." And our gospel references, Matthew 24, 42 to 44, Mark 13, 33 to 37, Didache 16, "Keep lamps lit, endure, the final deception, the Lord's coming. So the conclusion, the Didache is not innovation, it is implementation. See, the earliest disciples practiced the way Jesus taught. So we today can learn to practice from the words of Jesus. And by way of reversion, here is a table form we can put in the credits, just to help you revise these things. It's a sort of side-by-side text. The two ways, then we have the Didache and then the gospel accounts. Enemy love, the Didache and then the gospel accounts. Commandments of the heart, the Didache and again the gospel accounts. You see the picture? Prayer, Didache, Matthew 6 verse 5, the gospel accounts. Fasting, again, Didache, the Matthew and gospel accounts. Baptism, the same thing. Thanksgiving meal, the same format. Prophets and leaders, the same format again. This table continues watchfulness, Didache, and then the gospels. So, here we are now. But before we close down this video, and by way of a reminder for the next one on Tuesday, we will cover the whole issue of fasting and how it obtained in the nation, in their practice of their worship. So if you have found this video helpful, then please like, subscribe, and share with others. So until the next time, thank you very much.